What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Jets Fishing Adventures. We're out here at Guntersville, and we're going to do an on-the-water top 3 baits for the month of June video. Let's go. One right there. So, the month is June. The weather's getting warm. The ledge bite's actually picking up this time of year. If you're on the Tennessee River or any on the Tennessee, around the Tennessee area, a lot of the fish are moving out of the shallows on the ledges, and you can catch a lot of fish, some big fish, all in one spot. Personally, it's not my favorite way to fish. I like going up shallow. There's still fish up shallow, and they can be fun to catch. We're actually me and my buddy Tim's been out here on Guntersville fishing up shallow all day, and we've been able to catch a few one good fish, and off the baits that I'm going to show you today. You should be able to go anywhere that the water's in that kind of 75 to mid 80s range and catch fish. So my number 1 bait for the month of June would have to be a toad. I love fishing topwater this time of year. It's some of the best and funnest fishing you can do. And one of the ways I love to fish this time of year is a topwater toad. This is a ribbit toad. It's a very fun. You can fish it around grass. You can fish it out in the open and fish still eat it. I actually throw it on a Zolo Toad Face ALX rod. It's a 7'2" medium heavy plus. It's got a real nice soft tip on it, but it's got some backbone where you can still set the hook and pull a fish out of some heavy grass up under docks. And it's just a great rod to fish a topwater toad. I got it paired up with a Corrado 7:2 gear ratio. A little bit slow for a topwater, but this is also my jig rod, so I'll make it do. I got it paired with 30-pound Seaguar braid, smackdown braid. I love that braid. It's very smooth going through the guides, and it's a strong, really holds knot really well. So that's my number 1 for this month. I love a topwater toad. I actually won the state championship on Guntersville using a topwater toad and a few other baits in October. So this bait works from now on till even the fall. It's just a really good versatile bait that you can fish around grass, lay downs, up under docks. Skipping it is real easy, and it's just a fun way to fish. I forgot to tell you, I got it paired up with an owner screw lock. I think this is a 4/0 hook. I love that hook, really sharp, and it gets the job done. So let's go to number 2. So number two on the list, this you fish it offshore a little bit more, and I wanted to throw this bait in just for the people that like fishing offshore. I personally don't. I don't have live scope, so it's more of a fishing in the dark situation for me. But when I do go offshore, I love fishing a wobblehead. It really excels in areas that are more rock than anything. It goes on the bottom, and you can almost fish it like a crankbait. I do anyway. I actually let it sink all the way to the bottom, and then I'll just sit there and slowly reel it. And if you have a crawl that's very action packed, that crawl will sit there and swim back and forth. If you know me, I'm a big Touring Outdoors fan. That's the timber crawl. Great choice for a wobblehead. But this is one of my go-to ledge fishing baits, and one of my go-to baits for Percy Priest. I love that. I love a wobblehead on Percy Priest. One of my favorite trailers is the timber crawl. Can't go wrong with it. This is actually the Strike King tungsten wobblehead. It actually only comes with the head itself, and then you add your own hook. I really like doing this because I can run a hook that I want. This is actually an owner. I think it's a 7/0. It's a little bit big for this bait, but you can catch some giant fish on this bait. Definitely out here on the Tennessee River, fishing on the ledges. And on the Tennessee River, I tend to look for shell beds this time of year on the ledges. You'll go through with your side imaging and you'll actually see these ledges or these grass banks come through, and there'll be ledges, and you just cast over, rip it through the grass and let it hit that shell bed, and a lot of times they'll just be on it. If you have 360 or live scope, it makes it really easy to find that shell bed and see if there's fish on it. But that's my second favorite for this month. It's a fun bait, and you can catch some good fish doing it. So my third bait, which is another offshore bait, and to be honest, I always hated fishing a crankbait until about a couple of years ago, when I really found out you can catch some really nice fish on it. My top three for this month, and my number 3 will have to be a deep diving crankbait. You can get out there on the ledges, definitely on Guntersville, and you can find them schooled up on Chickamauga, anywhere there's not a ton of grass. Which the bad thing about Guntersville this time, you got a lot of floating eelgrass, but maybe 6 out of 10 casts might have grass on it, but those 4 casts, you can usually catch a good one. One of my favorite deep diving crankbaits is actually the River to Sea Tactical DD crank. It is Tactical Bassin actually designed this. It's they actually designed it for speed cranking, but it's a really good crankbait. It's got a weight transfer in it, and you can really sling these out, make long casts, even in a kayak. So that's one of my favorites this time of year. I don't fish offshore a ton, but when I do, I'm usually fishing a wobblehead or one of these. And it can just be a fun, it makes it easier fishing offshore in a kayak. Definitely if you have a 360 Hobie, you can turn the 360 drive in the opposite direction that you casted, and just periodically do a couple of kicks to prevent you from going to the bait instead of bait coming to you. That's the thing about kayaking. It's kind of hard to get a long cast and to retrieve it in a kayak, because the kayak's wanting to push towards you, or is wanting to get pulled towards the bait instead of you bringing the bait to you. So that's my number 3. You know me, every top 3 bait video has to have a wild card at the end. My number 4. And I've actually probably already talked about this in previous, but it has to be a big swim bait. This time of year, they can be really fun fishing up shallow, or even fishing offshore with a big swim bait. A few of my favorites. My favorite would have to be the 6.5 Thresher from Torn Outdoors. It's a really good bait. You can rig it how you want it. You can fish it through grass like behind me, on an underspin, or just a big weedless swim bait. This time of year, the shad spawn's still going on, so you can end up catching some good fish up shallow early. And then another one of my favorites is just a mag draft. This is the, I think it's the 7-inch mag draft, or no, it's the 5-inch mag draft. A really good bait. The only thing I don't like about the mag draft, you gotta fish it a little bit slower because it wants to roll. But really versatile bait. Many big fish been caught in it throughout the years, and it's just a great bait. The rod that I throw it on, I have 2 rods depending on what kind of area that I'm fishing and how I'm rigging it up. If I'm rigging it up just a Texas rig and around grass, I usually throw it on a 7'6" heavy rod with a fast action. That way when I'm ripping it through grass, I have that power to really set the hook and drive and pull a fish out of the grass. If I'm just fishing around laydowns, docks, and if I'm fishing the mag draft style or the Thresher with a treble hook, I'll use a 7'6" medium heavy fast. And the reason why I do that is just a little bit softer, where you don't pull the treble hooks out of the fish's mouth. That's just a that's just 2 of my rods that I like. One is actually a Lose, and the other one's a Dugout. I don't fish big swim baits very often, so I didn't really invest in a really nice rod, and I might look into it in the future. But you can really catch some good fish this time of year on a big swim bait, and it's always fun. Definitely out here at Guntersville, you can go and fish all these shallow water grass, and it's just fun to catch a giant in the shallow grass on any of these baits. just trying to get them out is just a blast. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Comment below what your top 3 baits for the month of June is. If it's the same as what I use, comment that. I like to see everybody's top 3. It's kind of cool to see what everybody throws. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more. The giveaway, I'm still waiting for one of my sponsors to send me it's in the mail coming at me. So as soon as I get that in, we'll be doing the giveaway. Thanks so much for watching, and if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We'll see y'all next week.